Science. The next one is technology. Obviously, there we go. Science, technology, engineering, and math. One would be hard-pressed to find someone who's not talking about STEM. Politicians, CEOs, celebrities, and university administration and students alike are consumed by the STEM dialogue. To illustrate this point, I would like for all of you to please watch this video produced by the White House as a part of President Obama's campaign for Educate to Innovate. Although this video was published in September of 2010, the views are very still relevant to how STEM is perceived today and the attitudes towards it.
As you go into science and know about quantitative and mathematics, it puts you in a very good position so you can understand much of the world around you. Those who feel comfortable, they don't have to be experts, they don't actually have to be practicing scientists or engineers, but feel comfortable about this. Understanding science, mathematics, allows you to deal with many of the pressing issues that the general populations will have to deal with.
The basic premise behind STEM education is really solving problems, understanding natural phenomena and then solving problems. In fact, there's an interesting statistic that the most common educational background of Fortune 500 CEOs in the United States is, it's not business, it's not law, it's engineering. Kids can get an engineering education, they can go do anything with it. They can be a lawyer, they can be a businessman, they can be a politician, they can be whatever they want. But they'll understand how to solve problems, and that'll see them beneficially through their entire career.
Science, technology, engineering, and math. They're the new language. We can inspire kids, and they can begin to see the world in a way that would give them a chance to pursue things that they never understood before. Who's going to be an astronomer, or an engineer, or a doctor? And give them the basic tools, the foundational understanding, so that they can make those choices for their path in life, but also have a chance to understand the world better, so that they can see the world in a more intelligent and more informed way.
The individual can impact the whole world through inventions, innovation going forward. But to do that, primarily you need a good understanding of the math, the science, and the technology behind it.
There will be Nobel Prize caliber discoveries that will have to be made in order for society to better itself in a way that can leave the children and the grandchildren a bright future. As a scientist or an engineer, should you choose to go into that career, you will have the tools to do many wondrous things which will in large part help save the world.
Great. Now, in case you were wondering, a similar video was not created by the White House in order to promote non-STEM careers, but that may not be a surprise. In fact, as STEM has taken the spotlight, the perceived value of non-STEM careers has dramatically declined, but I'll touch more on that later. For now, please consider this video as well as all of the media that you absorb throughout your everyday life in relation to STEM. You may notice that certain undeniable truths are promoted. Those include, number one, that America is facing a STEM crisis due to flaws in the K-12 education system. 2, careers based in STEM will drive our future. And 3, individuals with STEM degrees are problem solvers that change our world for the better. But if you ask me, this list only tells a part of that story. Correction number 1. America is facing a crisis due to flaws in the K-12 education system that affect all areas of society. According to the Program for International Student Assessment, PISA, the United States ranks 17th in reading, 20th in science, and 26th in math worldwide. However, if you look at these tables, seeing that we spend 6% of our proposed discretionary spending on education, and then this chart showing that the United States spends much, much more money than all of the other nations who are performing better than us on this exam, we can easily see that the answer perhaps is not more money for education. There's something else that is keeping us behind. And so looking at these numbers, it's easy to say, time to step up our STEM curriculum, time to improve education. But it's difficult and uncomfortable to see beyond that and recognize the structural inequalities that exist within our educational system. Why aren't we outperforming all of these other nations? My response: why is the prospect of becoming a teacher so dismal? Why do we reward those educating our future generation with low salaries, minimal benefits, and ingratitude? Why is it that some public schools hand out iPads on the first day of classes, while at other schools, students are given dog-eared textbooks from the 80s that can't get enough, that aren't passed around to everyone? Why is it that the most qualified teachers work at the schools with the most privileged students? Doesn't each member of our future generation deserve the best? K through 12 education is more than a STEM issue. Number 2, careers based in STEM will drive our future. However, our future is much, much more complex than any of us could ever imagine. Careers requiring a background in science, technology, engineering, and math tend to operate on an alarm, boom, bust cycle, which means first there's alarm, a proclamation that in some way the United States is falling behind in one of these areas. In response, there's a boom, a rapid expansion in the supply of individuals qualified to fill these positions. And unfortunately, that's followed by a bust, which is oversaturation of the market, causing high rates of unemployment among recent graduates. Now, I'm sure a lot more of you in the audience would be more well-equipped to answer this question, but why does this happen? On the most basic level, we can't predict our future. We do not know what is going to happen today or the next day. Right now, we are preparing our students for careers that may cease to exist in the near future, and we are also preparing our students for careers that may not even exist yet. And for this reason, putting all of our eggs in one basket, the STEM basket, may harm us in the future, but we don't know yet. Careers in science, technology, engineering, and math certainly can be rewarding, but it's time to consider that other fields can have equal, if not greater, impact on our future. And 3, individuals with STEM degrees are problem solvers that change our world for the better. Since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, science, technology, engineering, and math have revolutionized every aspect of our daily lives. How we communicate, how we transport ourselves, the goods we produce, how we spend our free time, and what we are capable of. However, somewhere along the way, we lost our sense of humanity. As we began to advance faster than we ever thought we could, grasping for what was newer, bigger, stronger, better, all of those things that we wanted, we forgot what it meant to be human, and we fell behind. By overvaluing what we could accomplish through science, technology, engineering, and math, we undervalued who we were and the people around us. What is holding America and the rest of the world back from achieving their full potential is not a STEM shortage or a STEM crisis, but a culture of tolerance. You heard me, tolerance. To tolerate. To allow something that is bad, unpleasant, etc., to exist, happen, or be done. To experience something harmful or unpleasant without being harmed. To accept the feelings, behavior, or beliefs of someone, all defined by the Merriam-Webster dictionary. But honestly, tolerance doesn't cut it. Simply tolerating the presence of another human being around you does nothing to change the world in which we live. American citizens tolerate immigrant populations in this country, but when it comes around to having a financial crisis or high rates of unemployment, they're the first to become the scapegoat. In my neighborhood, we have a gay family that lives by the lake. And although we tolerate them being there, when it's Halloween and time to bring the kids trick-or-treating, you won't hesitate to see parents grabbing their children's wrists saying, "No, no, no, honey, we're not going to go to that one." And at Lehigh, we accept that there's diversity in our student body, but then we see things happen like the Umoja incident, We see things like the yik-yak application, and all of that amidst other microaggressions, whether they're homophobic, sexist, racist, ethnocentric. The list goes on and on and on. Right now, at Lehigh, clearly STEM is not solving the problem of our social culture. We sell students on the idea that with a STEM career you will make a lot of money and you will drive America forward. But what good is that when we are constantly unraveling the bonds that tie us together? Each acquaintance is a new challenge, and why is that? The very first time we meet someone, we look at them and try to identify the ways in which we're superior to them in order to make ourselves feel good. Fundamentally, humans are not embracing other cultures and the beauty that exists in diversity. What happened to the idea that we, as humans, no, we're not all the same type of person, but peaceful coexistence, and more importantly, collaboration is possible. That idea may have been lost. After studying in Indonesia this past summer, my group came to the conclusion that Indonesia represents the epitome of diversity, comprised of over 13,000 islands, 300 ethnic groups, 238 million people, several hundred languages, and 6 state-recognized religions. There's no place on earth like it. While visiting a Catholic church, we heard the Islamic call to prayer, which is a reminder for all practicing Muslims that it's time to pray. But what happened next, in my experience, was truly eye-opening. The priest who was leading our group simply stopped speaking, and for a few moments, we stood still, just listening and admiring the sounds that were filling our ears. This priest had learned to appreciate, not simply tolerate, the diversity that was around him. And for me, that was a life-changing moment. Now, this presentation is less than 10 minutes long, and not every topic can be discussed, nor every question answered. And you might be asking yourselves, what is missing? How will this end? And my response to you is what is missing from this presentation is the word I. Not once thus far has the word I been used, and that was on purpose. You see, from time to time, the word I can be a self-asserting reinforcement of who is speaking. Here I am, listen to me, kind of I. But right now, I would like to use this word in a different way and share with you that my name is Danielle Hanes, and I'm a global studies major in the College of Arts and Sciences, not crafts, and I too am immersed in the STEM dialogue. Through these experiences of immersion, I've come to the conclusion that there are 3 takeaway points. 1, the need for reform in America's educational systems can no longer be ignored. 2, in an increasingly globalized world, all careers will play an important role in constructing our future. And 3, to change our world for the better, we need to reclaim our humanity and learn to appreciate, not tolerate diversity, because STEM cannot teach us to that. Only we, not I, can. Thank you.